Hello, my friends. Trifecta weekend. Well, it's not a wrap completely, but the racing is done. So little updates. Where we'll have the blessing, the honor of being able to post some podium award videos later tonight after awards happen. Today was the Beast, and I was hanging on to second through almost the entire course. We had just under 4 kilometers left to go. And I passed the guy who, he's going to be the overall Trifecta World Champ for sure. He had a really good time lead, cumulative from the Super and the Sprint. Just an amazing athlete from Sweden. And I couldn't catch him, but I wasn't far behind. I was kind of keeping him in my sights where he'd be leaving an obstacle right when I was coming into it. Anyways, so I think maybe he was dealing with a cramping issue, and I had just passed him. It was the first time I was ahead of him, and we were running through the Evrotus River just outside of Sparta, and with maybe a little more than 3 kilometers left to go, I'm not in the water. I'm running along the rocks on this edge of the water, and I bit it really freaking hard. I just kicked this rock with my toe, and just there was no thinking about it. I just boom was on the ground. Had hit rocks with both my hands and hit a rock with my right knee. Got up and kept trucking. A short while later, I looked down at my knee, and as soon as I did, I was like, oh man, I shouldn't have looked at that. It was the grossest freaking thing, and there's it's bloody, and there's white stuff, and I don't know if I'm looking at bone or tendon or ligament or kneecap or just, I don't know what I'm looking at. It hurts from the impact, but it didn't hurt anymore to keep moving my leg. So I just kept going. Like I said, about 3 kilometers to the finish line. So, but I can't move fast. And so the Swedish guy, he catches up. We're about to do, it's a barbed wire crawl in the river. So I went on one side and just kind of went on my left leg and let my right leg kind of stay up floating in the water, but I didn't want to touch anything with it, that's for sure. That right before we did the barbed wire, that guy, I just don't know his name right now, the champ, the Swedish guy, he's catching up to me. He sees how slow I'm moving. He goes, what happened? And I just turned and I pointed, and he's like, oh my God. And yeah, it was freaking gross. It was this huge gash. The flesh was just tore open. Blood running down my leg. I see that 3 kilometer sign. I'm like, it's only 1.8 miles. There ended up being actually 13 obstacles left. The stupid spear, the spear they have down by the river with these loose hay bales that look like they're saran wrapped, and they suck, and they can't hold a spear even when you hit it. 3 times this weekend, 3 times I hit the target with the spear at that particular spear station, and then it fell out, and then I did burpees. So I was really careful because I didn't want to touch my knee on the rocks or the dirt or anything. And just kept trucking. I knew that, I figured I could get past here, but, the guy who is in 4th position for the overall cumulative time, he's almost 7.5 minutes behind me. We don't have that far to go, so if I just keep going, if I just don't lose to him by 7 minutes and 23 seconds, I'm still hanging on to 3rd for the podium for the overall Trifecta. So I kept trucking. There's plate drag and a rope climb, and running through some mud. I mean, it was like ankle deep, but I was really careful to not splash it. And then just a bunch of obstacles to finish out as we get back into the city of Sparta. And it turned out the Swedish guy took a penalty loop at the extra long multi-rig. I made it. Extra challenge with the ropes at the end of it, but I got it. Really struggled on the Herc hoist at that point and couldn't use my legs the way I would have liked. And then come up to the monkey bar, and what they did with the monkey bar for the beast, they have like 2 bars kind of at the same level, and then the next one, for me and my body length, I had to stop and swing and get a big momentum because it was like a 2 or 3 feet higher bar. But as I was coming up to that last monkey bar, and besides that, all there is a slip wall and the fire jump. And I'm approaching that monkey bar, and I see the Swedish guy, and he's doing burpees. So I get across, give each other a fist bump, and finish it off. Got the first place in the beast, and my lead over my friend who was hanging on to second for the overall cumulative time. My lead over him was enough. So I should be second place overall in the world, Trifecta World Championship in Sparta. And then they took great care of me at the medical tent. I mean, they cleaned it up, they dressed it, and they covered it for a bit, and they're making phone calls. Doctor comes on down to the medical tent and does my stitches right there. And then I was lucky enough that on my way, I'm kind of limping my way down the street. I got to get back to my place to get my phone, wallet, so I can figure out where a pharmacy is open and get a shot to prevent infection. But I ran into Robert Coble, Spartan Race, race director. He's familiar with me. He asked how it goes. So I told him, like, well, I won. Also, I got stitches, and I'm kind of in bad shape and need to find a place to get a shot. He took me over to, we were all almost right next to Spartan headquarters, so he took me in there, got somebody that knew what pharmacy would be open, is a local, so speaks Greek, took us down to the pharmacy, got my shot, and I'm going to be a little bit slower walking to some of the ice cream and bakery places that I want to go and pig out, and I guess I'm going to have to limp my way up onto that stage for awards, but I got it, second in the world. So the Lord is my strength. I was just so thankful every time, actually after the first mile, all day long on this 14 plus mile beast, all day long, I'd just be running, and each time I think, because I had the IT band issue act up right after, within the first mile or less last year, and every step I took, I was like, thank you, Jesus. This step is a step further than I was even able to run, last year. And so I was just thankful and just giving praise through the whole day. Just thankful for the fact that I was still going, that I didn't have an injury issue come up, and until the last 3 kilometers, I guess I did have an injury issue come up, but I'm a Spartan, and God's got me in the palm of his hand. So I did get hurt, but not enough to stop me from getting a first place in the beast and second overall Trifecta World Championship. So it's been a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. This is Spartan Island.